Hey everyone, I am Samantha Tiara, and you are checking me out on chat. Obviously, the world has kind of taken a turn, so we're in the virtual space, but I am so glad to be back on the internet. We have a really special guest with us today. I know in previous interviews, I've always said that all of our guests are special, but listen, let me tell you, we really do have a really special guest, an amazing actor. I've known Jonathan for quite some time, probably since we were a little bit young. Like we go way back to church
Yes.
days. So that's how back we go back or far we go back. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, yes, I want to introduce none other than Mr. Jonathan Studdard, who is currently playing Lola in Kinky Boots. Welcome to chat, Jonathan.
Thank you for having me. I am so honored to be here.
Absolutely. So, Jonathan, let me just first kick the interview off by saying that I had the opportunity to see you play Lola. Obviously, you're still in your costume. You did an amazing job. Can you just, tell us a little bit about the show Kinky Boots and your character Lola without giving away too much? And obviously, you're still in your costumes, your makeup, your beautiful makeup, by the way. Can you tell us a little bit, first and foremost, about the show, about your character, and how you transformed into Lola, essentially?
Yeah, most definitely. So the story of Kinky Boots, as in a very short answer, is very much so about a young man gains his father's family business, the shoe factory. The business is going under, times are rough. He runs into this drag queen, Lola, and has this brand idea. So them together, they work to save the factory. It's fun. There's a little bit of intensity in some parts. Emotions get a little high. But together they do end up saving the factory without giving too much away of the plot. Lola is, like I said, a drag queen performer who is at the crossroads of her life where she's just kind of like, oh, like what's next? So her by chance meeting this man kind of just takes her life in a different direction, which ends up being very beneficial. And then I knew you had said getting into Lola. So I have only done drag, I think, 2 other times before this show. So it takes probably about an hour and a half to get everything together. So like starting with like color correcting the beard and like then from there like doing foundation and then applying the eye makeup and then the lips. And then after that you have to do all the layering on the bottom. So you have dance belts, you have tights, and you have other pair of tights and dance belts on top of that. And then you have the wigs, and then you have the dress and the heels. So there's a lot that goes into it, but the show starts usually at 8 p.m. and I usually get here around 6:30, usually at 6:30. So by the time from 6:30 till about 8:20 when I come in the show, like I will have done like my mic check, makeup, put on the costume, put on the wigs, and be ready to go because I don't come until about 20 minutes after the show starts.
Wow, that's a lot. So let me first and foremost, so again, we want people to go and see the show, but let me just say that walking in the heels, how was that for you? I will tell you, me personally, I am not a heel kind of girl. So I can only imagine, seeing you on stage with the costuming on, was that practice for you? And on top of walking in heels, you're also dancing as well, too. Again, not to give too much away, but you're also dancing. You're really performing. So, like, what was that like for you to, like, really transition into doing the dancing with the heels? How was that for Jonathan?
I won't lie when I say that in the beginning, it was a struggle. I'm gonna be 100% honest. I did a play a few years ago that was my introduction to heels. And baby, honey, it was not good. I won't lie to you. The play was great, but me walking in the heels, not good. So this was my first time like really discovering different types of heels. And like, I have learned that I am not the stiletto kind of person. Like I cannot do a skinny heel. Like give me a chunky platform heel. Like I can easily make that work. But it did take me, I got the boots in December. I found out I got the part like early December, late December, I got the boots, one of my pairs of boots to start wearing around. So I would just wear them around the house casually, like putting away laundry, cooking in the kitchen, just so I can get used to standing on them and feeling supported in them. So I probably did that for about a month because we started rehearsals late January. So it took me about a month just to really get comfortable and grounded and be able to like move and do all the things that I have to do in
Wow, well, you did an amazing job. So
them.
really
Thank you.
quickly, so going back to absolutely. So going back to the show, Kinky Boots. So I think that Kinky Boots has a very interesting start. You know, when it was originally on Broadway, you know, you've got Billy Porter. Can you talk a little bit about how was that to sort of fill Billy Porter's shoes in a way, or kind of take that baton from Billy Porter, who did this originally? So how was that for you?
I'm not gonna lie when I say that it was a bit intimidating. There are a lot of factors about Lola and Simon that I relate to a lot. So that part of that felt pretty good to me. But knowing the fact that Billy Porter is someone I look up to so much in so many different ways, who has done so many great things from R&B to Broadway to film work, like all these amazing things. It was very, very intimidating in the beginning, but I won't lie when I say that it has been nothing but supportive castmates, directors, creative teams, stagehands, like the whole process. Everyone has been so supportive. And it also feels great to like be able to tell my own interpretation of the story. Like they did not want me to come in and just do Billy Porter. They wanted me to do Jonathan Studdard, which I thought was really refreshing. And also I feel like it just makes it more fun because everyone plays a character differently. So I love, of course, I was inspired by things that Billy Porter did, but it was really great to like take the time and figure out what I would do in some of those situations.
Absolutely. That is awesome. So you talk a little bit about your castmates and feeling supported. You know, after seeing the show, it truly seems that you all have really great chemistry on stage. You know, how was that process, you know, getting to know some of your castmates? You know, tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so in the professional theater world where we are currently doing the show at Beef and Boards, um, it is a 2-week rehearsal process. So from the time you start rehearsal to the time that you end with tech and lights and all that stuff in your first dress rehearsal, it's about two, maybe 2.5 weeks max. So it's a very short amount of time to cover a lot of material. So rehearsals are usually pretty long, like it's usually like a 9 to 5 every day except you're off on Mondays. Um, but I think there's 21 of us all together. And when I got cast and like they announced, excuse me, when they announced the cast list, I think I knew almost half the people already. So it was very nice. Like I have a few people I've done shows with in the past already, friends I haven't done shows with, but I've known for years. So it already kind of felt like a family to do that. But it's been very, very enjoyable to meet people that I hadn't met before because we have people that travel from out of town, so they do house people and things of that nature. So it's been very, very nice to have new family, like chosen family members that like live in Tennessee, that live in Ohio, that live in New York. So it's been very refreshing. And I think the fact that the cast bonded so fast over the story material and just the show itself just makes it all the more easier to show that on stage.
And again, absolutely, in watching the show, you can tell that the chemistry is there from your castmates. So that's amazing that you knew
Thank
half
you.
of them, and then just kind of coming into it, you guys kind of bonded quickly. I want to go back really quickly to your
Yeah.
character, Lola. And I understand that as an actor, you know, a lot of times you try out for parts that you may not necessarily identify or agree
Yeah.
with, but just curious to know, you know, what drew you to want to try out for the character of Lola?
Yeah, I think there were a lot of different things for sure, but I think one thing would be the fact that it is a Black male character that is portraying a drag queen and telling an important story and message. So that was already huge for me in itself. Um, but I'm not gonna lie to you when I say that originally, like I've seen plenty of shows at this theater, great theater, family owned, um, and they usually get a lot of talent from out of town, usually like from New York, Chicago, wherever. So it wasn't even on my radar to audition. I was just like, oh, like they're doing Kinky Boots. A dream role as Lola one day. Like I'll go see the show. I'm sure it'll be great. But they actually reached out to me and was like, hey, we're doing the show. We've seen you perform in different things around the city. Like, would you consider submitting for the auditions? So of course I was like, oh my gosh, yes, why not? Yes. So I submitted a video and then they were like, hey, like we thought it was great. You have a callback. As if after the callback, it was just kind of like, do you want to do this? And I was like, oh my gosh, this is actually happening. So it was a journey to say the least, but so thrilling. So thrilling.
That is fantastic. So last question about Lola for you. So how has Lola impacted Jonathan as a person? And once the show is all over with, you know, what will you take away from, playing this character?
Yeah, I feel like that is a very loaded question. I feel like that is very heavy in a lot of different ways. Um, I think Lola has a lot of things that I resonate with, but I think one thing that Lola presents very proudly in the show is her being her 100% authentic self at all times. And also her like determination and tenacity is so, so inspiring. And Lola has this confidence about her that like when she's in a room, like, when she enters a room, when she leaves a room, So I think those are some of the things that I'll take away with just like being 100% present in the moment, whatever that may be in life in general. And then also just like being 100% myself all the time. Because I think it is very easy around certain groups of people, or maybe if you go somewhere where you don't feel like you can be yourself, it is very hard to, or it's very easy to tone yourself down or whatever that may mean. But I think I'm going to take away that I just have to be myself no matter where I am, because at the very end of the day, like, if you can't be you, no one else will. Like, there's only one version of you, so why not be that absolute 100% genuine best of yourself whenever?
That is such an awesome takeaway. So last question for you, Jonathan.
Yeah.
What is next for you? Any other shows, any other roles, or anything else that our audience can look forward to and supporting you with?
I'm not gonna lie when I say that currently I do not know. I've had a few auditions, but nothing has been solidified quite yet. So once those opportunities align in place, if they're supposed to happen, great, and I'll let you know for sure. But right now, I'm just going back to working full-time in retail management and just enjoying a little bit of relaxed time and me time outside of work.
Absolutely. And you deserve it. Again, Jonathan Studdard, thank you so much. It is such a pleasure to be able to catch up with you. As I said at the top of the interview, we've known each other for I'm
Yes,
thinking back, I'm not trying to age myself, but we've
it's a
known each
while.
other quite some time. It's been a
Yeah.
while. Again, thank you so much. So Kinky Boots now playing in Beef and Boards. What are the remaining show dates left so that our audience can make sure that they go and check you out?
And we have 2 shows on Saturday, and then we have our last final show Sunday matinee. So
Awesome. And so the audience can go to beefandboards.com to purchase
mhm.
tickets
Yep,
or perfect. And
they sure can. And it is a dinner
perfect.
theater. So the
Yes.
tickets might seem a little bit higher, but you are getting a meal with that. You'll get the show, you'll get dessert, you have drink, like a full bar service. So I know sometimes people will be like, oh, that's a lot of money, but also you're getting a dinner as well.
Let me just say dinner is amazing. I have the opportunity to indulge a little bit. So dinner is good, people.
Yes,
All right.
yes.
Well, again, Jonathan, Jonathan, thank you so much for taking time out. I know you've got another show, but again, Jonathan Studdard, who plays the amazing Lola in Kinky Boots. Thank you, Jonathan.
Thank you so much. So glad to get to catch up, and I can't wait to talk to you soon. Thank you. Thank you again.